A national tragedy at the crossroads of politics and security. The upcoming funeral for Charlie Kirk, the conservative activist recently assassinated in Arizona, promises to be one of the most high-risk and closely watched events of the year. But here's where it gets controversial. The very act of honoring Kirk's life is quickly turning into a monumental challenge for law enforcement. And it's casting a spotlight on the U.S. Secret Service like never before. This Sunday, State Farm Stadium in Glendale is set to become the epicenter of political attention. With President Donald Trump, influential members of his administration, key Republican figures, and an array of top political voices set to attend, security stakes couldn't be higher. The cause for gathering? A single deadly bullet meant to silence a prominent conservative voice highlights the gravity of the threat landscape facing today's public events. And this is the part most people miss. With over 63,000 seats and open registration inviting the general public to attend, the sheer scale and unpredictability of this memorial create a security puzzle with countless moving pieces. Attendees must supply details such as name, email, phone number, and zip code to enter, a step towards safety, but far from eliminating risk. In a statement, Secret Service spokesperson Anthony Guglielmi expressed the agency's condolences to the Kirk family and emphasized that joint efforts are underway to coordinate federal, state, and local security plans. Whether the event will be officially declared a national special security event, a designation that would bring extra federal help, remains an open question as officials calculate how to best safeguard everyone involved. State Farm Stadium, home to the Arizona Cardinals and famous for its retractable roof, is being rapidly transformed for the occasion. Law enforcement agencies are racing to deploy metal detectors, map out the arena's intricate interior and exterior, and develop a comprehensive strategy to protect the public, guests, and especially high-profile dignitaries like Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who is expected to attend. Former Secret Service agent Jonathan Wackrow, now a CNN contributor specializing in risk management, laid out the harsh reality. Because of this event's prominence, it becomes a tempting target for those with malicious intentions. Law enforcement not only has to prepare for actual threats, like vehicle attacks or bioweapons, but deal with the possibility of disruption simply from the rumor of danger. Counter-snipers, anti-ram barriers, and biological hazard precautions will all be part of the playbook on Sunday. This is where it gets thorny for public figures. Is being accessible to supporters worth the associated dangers? In the wake of Kirk's murder, many politicians are rethinking their public appearances. Some campaigns and advocacy groups have even canceled events out of caution. As the midterm election season gears up, this tension between voter engagement and personal safety will only intensify. Wackrow isn't alone in his concerns. He points to a troubling shift. We're now seeing targeted political violence become more normalized due to personal grievances. He referenced Charlie Kirk's death alongside the recent assassinations of Minnesota State Rep Melissa Hortman and her husband, plus United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, as evidence that the risk is real and rising. All of this is unfolding at a uniquely demanding moment for the Secret Service. Not only are Trump and the First Lady scheduled for a high-profile state visit to the UK just before the funeral, requiring Secret Service deployment overseas, but the United Nations General Assembly, one of the largest gatherings of world leaders, kicks off in New York City just days later. The agency will be stretched thin, protecting more than 100 visiting dignitaries worldwide. And here's the part that could ignite heated debate. While the Secret Service is renowned for its disciplined approach and dedication, internal challenges, including resource limitations and management strain, could test the agency to the brink. Wackrow sums up the dilemma memorably. This is going to push the Secret Service to its limit. It's all hands on deck, but there are multiple decks. What happens if one area's safety comes at the expense of another? Wackrow warns. There could be a security gap in New York as soon as Sunday's event wraps up and agents rush back from Arizona. And if you think hostile actors aren't watching for just such opportunities, think again. This moment, so fraught with political significance and security uncertainty, invites a big question for all Americans. How do we balance the right to public mourning and political expression with the tough reality of targeted violence? Do you believe the risk is being managed well enough? Or is our system simply stretched beyond what's safe? Have your say in the comments. Is there another way to handle security for high-profile political events in today's climate? Or are we resigned to living with these dangers as the new normal?